Most people picture discipline as a loud, hyped-up performance, waking up at 5 a.m., blasting music at the gym, and posting the routine online for everyone to see. But true discipline is terrifyingly quiet. The loud version of hustle culture is driven by a specific biological engine, dopamine. This is the chemical in our brains designed to push us towards excitement, novel experiences, and immediate rewards. Building a work ethic entirely around that chemical creates a severe vulnerability. Dopamine spikes are inherently temporary. You cannot rely on excitement to get actual work done. Eventually, the initial excitement of a new project fades. The dopamine levels drop back down to baseline, and suddenly there is no audience left to clap. A system built on feeling motivated is mathematically doomed to fail. Human biology guarantees that the rush of excitement will always expire. Yet there is an anomaly. Certain individuals continue to execute with absolute consistency long after all the motivation and dopamine have evaporated. This diagram of a neural pathway illustrates how they do it. They haven't simply learned to push through the bad feelings. Instead, they have structurally rewired their habits to bypass the need for a dopamine rush entirely. Their actions become completely untethered from their emotional state. They create a deliberate, stark disconnect between how they feel on any given morning and the work they actually do. The scariest level of discipline avoids fighting emotions by rendering them completely irrelevant to the final output. Psychologists identified the specific mental tool used to create this bypass. It is called an implementation intention. This decision tree asks, "Do I feel like doing this?" An implementation intention removes that variable. The fixed structure, "It is time, so I do it," silences internal arguments entirely. There's no debate, delay, or excuses. This preserves a massive amount of mental energy. You no longer spend your morning actively convincing yourself to do the work. Unstoppable individuals do not possess some magical reserve of willpower. They simply design mental systems where the option to negotiate with themselves does not exist. When you stack these implementation intentions over months and years, they compound into a state known as automaticity. Behavioral research shows that consistently choosing progress over immediate pleasure physically trains the brain to master delayed gratification. In everyday life, this translates into habits that run on pure, emotionless autopilot. The system requires no external hype or waiting to feel ready. Mastering the simple response of "not now, later" grants a person absolute power over their own nature. However, there is one common mistake that will instantly destroy this automaticity: announcing your goals to other people. This chart demonstrates a peculiar quirk. Simply talking about your plans triggers a premature dopamine release. This reward tricks your brain into feeling you've already achieved the goal, killing the actual drive required to execute it. This reveals why the most successful people move in total silence. They keep their intentions quiet to protect their neurological drive from dissipating. Public announcements act as a tax on actual execution. Silence serves as a shield, protecting the engine of automaticity. Bringing these psychological mechanisms together reveals that true discipline requires total control over your own mind, far beyond simple calendar management. To the outside world, this relentless, emotionless consistency appears effortless. It looks intimidating and completely impossible to replicate. The ultimate evolution of this process happens when you no longer need motivation to move on your worst days. Discipline ceases to be a routine you practice and becomes your identity. Stop waiting to feel ready. Kill the reliance on dopamine and build the quiet system. True greatness is never announced, hyped, or performed. It simply shows up, undeniable.